What's good, y'all? It's Icon here, and got finished watching that WrestleMania Part 1, and I just wanted to say, right out the gate, I hope everybody's doing good, everybody's doing what they got to do, they're staying safe, and they're keeping themselves, keeping themselves distanced when need be. Me personally, I haven't actually put anything on the channel in a little bit over 2 weeks because I've been sick for the last 14 days, and I've quarantined myself for the for the last 14 days, and today's actually day number 14. So still a little tired, still weak, but I'm perfectly fine. I'm doing perfectly fine. I get my strength back every single day, and like I said, another couple of days I should be ready to, I should be back to 100%. But I originally I wasn't gonna do this video, but then I watched WrestleMania, and then I was just like, okay, I gotta say something. So to start it off, the first match, we actually got a pre-show match, and I don't know why the pre-show had to be an hour. I was a little annoyed over the fact that the pre-show was an hour because, it's not a traditional WrestleMania. We don't have we don't have a live crowd. We don't have the theatrics that we usually have. I don't need Corey Graves and Jeff Rogan talking for an entire hour. The pre-show honestly just could have been 30 minutes, and then that was it. But we did get a pre-show match out of it because we got Drew Gulak versus Cesaro, and I was actually surprised. Good for Gulak, even though it was on the pre-show of an unconventional WrestleMania. Good for him because he's had a damn good stretch, since 2020 started, and it's about time that they put a little respect on his name. But despite all that, he wasn't going to beat Cesaro, and he lost the pre-show match to Cesaro. But again, kudos to him for for even being a part of it and being on the card. So the next match after that was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag team titles. And there should have been more women involved. There should have been, you could have had the Horsemen come up from NXT. You could have had Fire and Desire, involved in the match, and then have them play off the beef that they had with the whole Otis situation. They could have did that. You could have, I don't know where the Iconics are. I don't know what the hell happened to the Iconics, but it ended up just being a 2-on-2 with Kabuki versus Cross and Bliss, and Kairi Sane hasn't been seen for weeks. For weeks. Asuka's been holding the whole thing down solo, so that should just tell you right there that they were most likely going to lose the titles. And I do like all four women. I am a fan of all four women. I enjoy watching all four women perform, but the problem is this match just went on for too long. The match went on damn near half an hour for no reason, and the match really didn't. The match really shouldn't have gone on as long as it did. Actually, let me say this real quick. Shout out to whoever did the editing for America the Beautiful, because they used the artists. They used a bunch of different artists who sung previously and just pieced all of their singing together to make it look like different artists sung one America the Beautiful. And I actually thought that was beautiful. So kudos to whoever put that together. But anyway, but the women's tag match, like I said, it just went on for too long. It was a good match. It was a good match. It just went on for too long. And Cross and Bliss, with the Twisted Bliss. I believe it was the Twisted Bliss in the end to Kairi Sane. They got the pin on Kairi Sane, and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are your new women's tag team champions. And hopefully there'll be some women's tag teams for them to fight when this whole thing is over with. You got a boatload of chicks sitting in NXT, so I'm just the next Mae Young Classic needs to be a tag team based Mae Young Classic, and let's start getting some tag teams in to fight these women. And preferably let's get some faces too, because with the exception of Bliss and Cross, everybody's a freaking heel. The next match after that was the one match that nobody wanted, which was Elias versus Baron Corbin. And I think Elias, I'm gonna say Elias won. I'm gonna be 100% honest, because like I said, I'm still I'm still trying to recover from the whole sickness, so I get weak at times, and then I get tired and everything, and then I actually passed out during this match. I slept through this I slept through this whole match, and I feel like when my head was under the covers, I feel like I heard Elias's music play and his hand got raised. If I was wrong, my bad. But I think Elias won this match. But like I said, nobody cared anyway. So what followed after that? Oh, see, and then the disappointment. See, the problem that I have with this pay-per-view It's just the predictability of the matches and the disappointment. Because the third match was Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. And as soon as I saw that Becky was third, like the man, like, you know, she's supposed, like, Becky's the man, you know, like she's the Raw Women's Champion. As soon as I saw that this match was third, I immediately was like, well, Shayna's not winning, because if Shayna was going to win that title, they would have hyped it up more. It would have been on Sunday. It maybe would have main evented the Saturday show. But to have Becky showed up in the same damn, you know, truck, in the same parking lot, doing the same thing that she always does. And I'm just like, if you're going to have this match third on the card, Shayna's not winning this match. And the match started out really good. The two of them started throwing some haymakers at each other. And then, you know, but as the match progressed, it was just like, the match was good, but it was hard to get into because you just knew Shayna wasn't going to win. And then it's like, once the predictability kicks in, it's like, it's over. Like, you know, like, I don't, like, you know, like, I'm not really invested. And then, you know, Becky got the win. She got the 1, 2, 3, so no surprise there. And then they did this whole thing where Shayna's just sitting there like she's ripping flesh off of people's necks. She's steamrolling the entire locker room. And then, you know, after Becky beats her, Shayna's just sitting on the third turnbuckle with her heads in her hand doing the woe is me, while Becky's just celebrating with her head held high. I'm like, yo, go choke that bitch out. You know, I'm like, she should have did something else. Honestly, like, I feel like Vince tried to bury Shayna, because, I mean, we all heard the rumors that Vince isn't even high on Shayna because Vince is a dumbass, and I just feel like he just wanted to make Shayna come out to look like, Shayna, please go back to NXT. Like, now that this is over, like, you know, you went up, like, you know, you did it, you lost, just please go back to NXT. Like, I don't want to see Shayna show up on Raw on Monday. And but again, like I said, Becky won, and it's just a shame that it was just so underwhelming. After that, I believe I'm probably gonna get a little out of order here. After that, I think we did the Intercontinental title match between Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. You know, and then, you know, Sami Zayn had Cesaro, had Nakamura, Daniel Bryan had Gulag in his corner, and, you know, it was a good match. Like, I mean, Sami kind of ran, you know, he did the typical heel thing that you knew he was gonna do. So I don't blame Sami for that, for being like the chicken shit and like running. But you know, but it paid off in the end, because he ended up catching him in the face, because Bryan tried to come off the top rope, and then Sami sneaked him and caught him with a haluva kick and knocked him out. And then Sami Zayn surprisingly retained the championship over Daniel Bryan, which is fine. I said the match was good, you know, which is fine, but I just hope that this match actually goes something. Well, not this match, but I hope, like, you know, it's about the chase now. So Bryan's still chasing him. Hopefully, maybe Gulag will be the one to beat him and take the title. But just don't dead this whole thing. That this is something that actually should continue a little further. After that, what came on after that? We had the we had the singles tag team match. We had the tag team singles match for the tag team championships. It was because the Miz had got sick prior to taping the WrestleMania match. So I guess they just decided to eliminate one person from each team, and ended up being Jimmy Uso versus Kofi versus John Morrison. And so again, so you got a singles triple threat ladder match for the tag team titles. But it was still a good match. Like, these guys put on a show. Like, you know, these guys are known for putting on a show. So, you know, that's what they did. They put on a show, and I can't be mad at the, you know, what they put out there, because it was good. It was good. Like, you know, a lot of high spots, a lot of crashing and burning, a lot of talking, because since there's no crowd in the audience, you know, like, everybody was talking to each other, so there was a lot of talking. And the way the match ended was all three participants were on top of the ladder. They all put their hand on the ladder. I mean, on the championships. They all put their hand on the championships. Jimmy actually unhooked the championships, and all three of them were holding on to them. So two of them got to let go in order to declare a winner. So Jimmy and Kofi grabbed Morrison and both of them double headbutted Morrison, so Morrison would be the one to let go. And then after they headbutted him, Morrison fell backwards, and he was holding onto the belts, and he ripped him off of the off of the hook, and he fell with both titles in his hand. And I give them props for that. That was actually creative. That was creative, but it was just so silly to have a singles triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. So it's like Morrison's walking out talking about I am the tag team champions. But but I said, but I can't really complain because I said it was very entertaining, and it was and actually that was probably like the best match of the night. I gotta say. So that was match number 5. So match number 6 was Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins came out in all white like the Messiah. Seth Rollins actually whooped Kevin Owens' ass for the entire match, and Kevin started getting like his momentum back, and then Rollins cheated and hit him with the time bell, and then Kevin won by disqualification, and then Owens grabbed the microphone, and then he was just like, "Yo, let's restart the match. No disqualification, no DQ." So Seth was like, "All right, fine, we'll do it." And then so they're fighting, no holds barred or whatever. Kevin Owens jumped off the WrestleMania sign and elbowed Rollins through a table. He hit the stunner in the ring, and Kevin Owens got the victory anyway. So I was just like, so if you're gonna get the victory anyway, what the hell? It's like the whole point of having the disqualification win is like Owens just beat him twice now. It's not like Rollins won by disqualification, and then Owens was like, no, I want a real decisive win. Let's restart the match. Kevin Owens basically won twice, and that was stupid. If they were going to have Kevin Owens win twice, they should have just forgot about the whole disqualification thing and just had one match straight through and just let Kevin Owens win the match. But Kevin Owens finally won the match, so we'll see if Rollins is still bitching come Monday. Then after that, they did match numbers. After that, they actually did they did the Universal title match. So I was just like, all right, so that got bumped off of Sunday. So they did the Universal title match between Goldberg and Braun Strowman. Goldberg still had his posse. They weren't practicing social distancing, which is kind of funny. And then Goldberg hit him with like 50 spears. Strowman hit Goldberg with like 50 power slams. And Braun Strowman got put into the match obviously because due to health reasons, Roman Reigns had to remove himself from Mania. But Braun Strowman, he pinned Goldberg because I guess they weren't gonna let the old dude keep the belt. He pinned Goldberg. Braun Strowman is the new Blue Universal champion. And you know what? As stupid as this whole situation was, I honestly would have preferred they had Lashley fight Goldberg for the title instead. But instead they just threw Braun Strowman in. Braun Strowman's been both Intercontinental and Universal champion in the span of like 2 months, and both times he didn't do jack to deserve either one of them. So, but the fact that he's here, the fact that he's a monster, the fact that he has the title now, at least that's interesting. So at least there are plenty of things there. Even if he stays face, if he goes heel, there's a bunch of things they can do with that. So the match was like 10 seconds. The match was really, really, really short. So I'm not mad at that either. So Braun Strowman, I mean, anytime a new person that we've never seen before gets their hands on the title, you know what? Let's just run with it and see what happens. I'm all for that. So kudos to Braun Strowman for finally not being a big goof and for finally getting his hands on some gold. And we'll see who beats him going forward, which will probably be Roman Reigns when everything goes back to normal. And then finally they did that the graveyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker, that whole thing was just so silly. I mean, I feel like Matt Hardy wrote it. Like the whole match was basically something that like Broken Matt Hardy or The Fiend came up with. It was like something straight out of WWE 2K where they were just fighting in a cemetery. They basically had a graveyard match. They had a buried alive match. They had a buried alive match in a graveyard. Taker showed up American Badass style. AJ Styles showed up wearing jeans. Styles brought the OC and like 50 druids. He brought the entire club to try to take Taker out, and then. I didn't really care. It was just like honestly, I wish they would have just had a regular match. I wish the two of them would have just had a regular one-on-one match. But they did this. It was what it was. It was shot differently than the rest of the show. Taker won. He buried AJ Styles alive, and then he got on his Harley and he rode back to his wife. So that was it. I'm gonna be really honest. I don't have a problem with the performers. The performers, every wrestler did their job. Every wrestler put on a good show. They worked hard and they did what they had to do to put on to put on a good performance. I have nothing against any of the talent who showed up tonight. My problem was the person who did the booking for all this, because it was just extremely predictable. The outcomes were just extremely predictable, and that took away from a lot of the excitement for me. It's just hard to get excited when you know what's going to happen in the end. I mean, I'm going to be real with y'all. I honestly would have preferred they would have just did TakeOver. You know, that we were supposed to, traditionally we were supposed to have TakeOver tonight, but then, they canceled TakeOver so they can do a 2-night WrestleMania. And now all the matches that we should have got for TakeOver, we're going to get them spread out over the course of the next few Wednesdays. And I'm like, yeah, I should have just did TakeOver. I would have preferred just do TakeOver. Because at least that would have been way more spontaneous and entertaining. But and then you can also tell that all the matches Vince didn't care about were the ones that he put on Saturday. So all the matches, all the matches that Vince gives a shit about are the ones that we're going to get tomorrow. So maybe the ones tomorrow will be a little bit better. So that was it. That was my review of part 1 of WrestleMania 36. Ahoy, mateys. We've got one more day to go, so batten down the hatches. And, I did part 1, so I guess I'll definitely do part 2. I will review part 2 when part 2 is over, and hopefully part 2 will be better. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody stay safe. I'm going back to lay down. So until next time for WrestleMania part 1, I'm out this bitch.